Prior to this rotation in MSK, I had a few preconceived notions, and today is the day I reflect on whether they've changed. I'll let you know a little bit about the type of cases I saw, not going into anything patient specific, and I'll let you know, yeah, how I'm feeling about it before I rotate back into the hospital. So I've got several preconceived notions that I've jotted down here. I believe that there's not a lot of time in the day with MSK. This preconceived notion came from the fact that quite a few people who had done the rotation before, or just people I know outside of like my trust, etc., that work in the MSK area, they're always complaining about time. So I was like, oh my god, there's not going to be enough time for anything. And from that kind of leads me on to a lot of DNA patients, people booking appointments, not showing up. I'm going to have to use a lot of hands-on skills. That it would be lonely. And by lonely, the reason I thought that is because quite a few people I know that work in MSK are more of your introverted type of people. They prefer to work on their own. Plus, I know with like the setup, you don't typically see a patient along with another colleague. So for me, I perceive that as like, I was worried I'm going to feel lonely whilst there. And a big thing for me, preconceived notion, is that you have to know all of your anatomy, know all of the conditions off your head, and that really stressed me out because I feel like being inpatient, yes, obviously anatomy is important, and being aware of things are important, being aware of those red flags, very, very important. Though the level of knowledge required to diagnose something in relation to MSK is not there for me. And so that going in stressed me out a lot. Now, the type of patients and cases I've seen whilst there have been like a range of stuff. I've seen a range from teenager up to like elderly, so all age ranges. But in regards to cases, you've seen what you would typically think. You're not a lot of, I mean, not on the that adult side, but it's like some sports injuries. So seeing some sports injuries, you got your like hip replacements, your fractures, things that wouldn't just be like, you can manage that at home kind of thing. Like your fractures, your back pains. Now the one that surprised me was like rheumatology referrals, for like chronic pain or like rheumatology related conditions causing pain that we can support with. Not that I wasn't aware that physiotherapists were involved in that area, just more so I just didn't know that the physiotherapists, like physiotherapy MSK department that in the hospital that I work in got those referrals. It was more of that than anything. Now, in regards to like my opinion and whether it's shifted or anything, I'll be honest, it's like where before, let's say this was like, ooh, MSK, and this was before it was like, yeah, nah. But now it's like, it's not level, it's like just, it's come down a little bit, that I don't know why I did like that, I should have done that. It's come down a little bit in terms of my opinions on MSK in a positive way, not in a negative way. Now, going into it, like I shared, I was very like stressed about my ability to perform well in this area, my knowledge, my anatomy knowledge, my knowledge of certain conditions that I would come across here. And there have been moments where conditions pop up and things pop up that I've never seen before, or I have absolutely no idea. And it's been nice being able to speak to my colleagues and they've helped me through it. It's been nice being able to, if I have time, to prepare in advance, give myself time to look through that case, so then going through and going into it, I'm prepared for what the patient may present with and whether it's common or not. But then I also have the ability to bring in my other skills and experiences from inpatient. So that's been nice. I'd say I've surprised myself in terms of I've had patients who I've seen like from their first referral, initial referral to the point of discharge, and it's been nice when those have come back and I had in my plan saying, okay, maybe one more session, or maybe we'll discuss them going on like a interim pathway, like hit me up if you need me kind of thing. And they've come back and like, actually no, I'm doing perfect, you've helped me a lot, the exercises have been great, I'm seeing a lot of improvement, I don't think we need to follow up. And that's been very rewarding, because to me that's also been reassuring that I'm not as bad at MSK as I thought. I think my stress regarding MSK heavily came from the fact that it wasn't an area of physiotherapy that I enjoyed while studying. It wasn't, I felt like I didn't get a lot out of the teaching. More so because it was like post pandemic, we were still doing Zoom teaching, so I didn't feel like I took in as much as I would have if it was in person teaching. And when it came to the practical classes, I don't feel like I was given or had enough confidence to be like, what's this, like what's that kind of thing. Yeah, I just wasn't reassured in that area. And all of my placements, my clinical placements as a student, were inpatient, so I knew I had that. And being outpatient as well, yeah, I'm still on the fence about that. I know deep down that I'm definitely an inpatient physiotherapist. I think what I enjoy is the community you have with inpatients, in terms of through the other specialities that are there on site with you. The joint, I'm not saying that you don't get a joint effort on patients when you're in MSK or whether you're in outpatient. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just like everybody's like right there. The MDT is what I miss about it. I think if you would ask me at the start, would I ever consider specializing in MSK, I'd be like, next, keep pushing. If you ask me now, would I consider specializing in MSK? My answer to you would be, it's not completely off the table, but it's not like, let's put it this way, in comparison to other areas of physiotherapy that I've experienced that are on the top of the table, this one's like by the chair, if that makes sense. By the chair, on the table. And what I mean by that is, do I want to keep up my MSK skills? Yes, I do. I feel like I'm now at a point where I'm comfortable with some of my hands-on skills. I'm comfortable doing certain assessments. It's not something that I want to lose. Similarly to how I like to keep up my respiratory skills, I think keeping up my MSK skills would be good. It's a nice way for me to tie in some of the things that I learned during my sport and exercise science degree as well. We didn't do a lot of hands-on stuff, but more like the theory-based things. It allows me to refresh that side of me. So would I be open to utilising that a bit more? Yes, I would. If the current job market remains the way it's remaining, would I be open to taking a job in MSK for like an interim period? Yes, but would my heart be in it? I honestly don't think so. And as I've said to colleagues when they've asked, oh, like, would I consider specialising in MSK? Has it changed my opinion? I think more positively about the area. And again, I think if a job appeared between an area that I'm like, yes, compared to MSK, I don't think, no, it's not even I don't think, I know I probably wouldn't be in the running in comparison to people who have a driving passion for MSK. And I feel like many of my colleagues who love MSK, and even those like the people who I actually work with in the area, you can see their MSK physiotherapists, they have like a full-on passion for it, they absolutely love it. And I don't have that. So I don't feel like it would be right for me to try and pursue that long term, and things may change. But at this point in time, it's, yeah, that's my stance on it. Yeah, I think the good thing is, so my next rotation is I'm going back into the hospital. I will be going back to acute medicine. So for those of you that have been here for a while, you will know that acute medicine was the rotation that I was on before I left that early to start my secondment in complex medicine. So it's nice to go back. The reason I picked it is because I was like, out of all the rotations, because I'm at the point now where I'm repeating rotations, out of all the rotations, if I had to pick one initially to repeat, it would be that one. more so because I left early, but also because now that I have these MSK skills, I might be able to utilize them in ED, whereas before I could, like, you know, figure out sciatica and NOFs and those common stuff, but like beyond that I wouldn't be able to provide as much assistance. I felt like I was just doing a regular tick boxy thing and I didn't really go beyond that. So I feel like this is an opportunity for me to utilize these skills in that area. It's an opportunity for me to like see soft tissue clinic. It's an opportunity for me to just, you know, revisit it, see how I'm feeling about it, bring in these skills as well and go from there. So yeah, to wrap that up, MSK isn't as bad as I thought it was for me, and I'm leaving it with a positive outlook on the speciality, and I see why people love it, and it's been very rewarding seeing the difference in the patients. It's been very rewarding following some patients that I had while I was on my orthopedic rotation into now my MSK rotation. It's been, yeah, beautiful to see that aspect of the journey. And in regards to working outpatient, I think I'm gonna stick to inpatient. Let's just leave it as that. I think I'm gonna stick to inpatients. Yeah, DNAs has been something that I'm sure many of you probably feel the same regarding DNAs and people not, like, well, people not attending their appointments. It's very frustrating. I feel like it's an area that obviously people talk about it, about how much money is wasted due to appointments being missed. And I have found that when the weather's nice, or, you know, when something big is going on, people just don't show up, and I feel like it's not only disrespectful, but it's a shame because that's a slot that someone else on the waiting list could have been utilizing. So those, like, I find that very frustrating. And in regards to myself as the therapist, I find it frustrating when I already have, like, my admin stuff up to date. I've done my emails, I've written my previous notes. I feel like I'm kind of just randomly filling the time when I would much prefer to see a patient. So from that side, I think that's also one of the big things as to why I definitely prefer inpatient, because if you have a patient that you're expecting to see and you can't see them, there's always someone else that you can see and you could provide some time to, whereas you're not really able to do that when a patient doesn't show up for an appointment, unless your next patient turns up early for the appointment and you're able to help them sooner and provide them a bit more time. But I'm rambling now, so I'll see you guys in another video.